Hey, welcome everyone, Nick here. So guys, just wanted to do a video on how to do Google search ads for local businesses. I know I've focused a lot on e-commerce, but a lot of the stuff I do is for local businesses, and it's a really easy way, regardless of what business you have, to start getting traffic to your website, calls through, and do lead gen, or even obviously this process I've shown you can be used for products. Now, the focus of this is mainly going to be for local businesses, and for the most part, they're either going to have a physical location or they're going to provide some kind of service, whether it be online or in a physical location. So guys, this is going to show you step by step, click by click, how to run ads for local businesses, or if you yourself want to run the ad, you can totally follow this and you're going to see some results. So no ifs or buts, this is a really simple way to do it, and don't overcomplicate it. Just follow this and you're going to start to see that traffic coming in, and over time you're going to get better and better at it. So let's get into it, guys. So just set up a Word document here with step by step what you need to do. So if you're running these ads for another business, and after this video you're going to totally be able to do that. There's absolutely no reason why you can't. So you can actually go out and charge people money to do this, which is what I do. So sit down and discuss with the client what they want from the ad, or if what you're running it, what is your goal? Whenever you're running something, you need to know what is your goal. So the reason I like to sit down with and obviously flesh out, it just needs to be a conversation. So you need to ask yourself or the client, so what service do you want to promote? So you need to know the industry language and a rough idea of the keywords that people would search for. Obviously, we're going to do our own keyword research, but the business owner always knows the industry lingo and what sort of terms and phrases people that are looking for their business might search. They're also going to give you really good ideas for negative keywords. And negative keywords are the words that whatever people search that we don't want to come up for. So if you're a plumber, you probably don't want to come up for plumbing supplies. That's more if you're a plumbing supply store, right? So you don't want to come up for store or supplies. We would add these to the negative keywords because otherwise we'd be wasting money. Remember, Google is a pay-per-click platform. So they're also going to know what is the sales process or pathway the customers take. So when people go to their website, do they call them? Do they submit a form? Do they email them? What is the process? And this is all important because we need to be able to track all this stuff. So the ultimate goal is to work out what product or service they want to promote. So remember, a lot of businesses, even if they don't know it, actually have multiple parts to them. So take, for example, my digital marketing agency. So if I promoted just digital marketing agency, am I really going to get people that are interested in a particular service? Yeah, sure I am. But I think I'm going to find a lot of people just in that research phase. Now, if people are looking for Google search ad specialist or PPC agency, then it's a much, much better option. And I'm going to get people that are interested in buying. So another example is Facebook ad specialist. Now, if someone is searching for a digital marketing agency, you don't know what service they're after. So this is important when we start to split out and do the actual ad groups and ads, because we're going to obviously want to tailor all this stuff to be relevant and accurate. Remember, I always bring that up about Google Ads. It's all about relevancy and accuracy. Now, once we do that, we're going to need to go through their website and obviously their entire sales funnel. So go through the website and make sure the website or funnel is set up and optimized for conversions. And what I mean by that, it needs a clear call to action. So do we want people to call us? That button needs to pop like crazy, and it needs to be in multiple locations. Is all the info there needed to persuade the customer? So we need in-depth info on what are the benefits of this product, or why should people choose you over others in the industry? Testimonials are great, and if you can do a video explanation, that is going to be king. Another fact is, are visitors able to contact you easily? So is there email? Is there an email there? Is there a phone number? Is there an address? Is there whatever methods people want to contact you? It needs to be there, and it needs to be easily accessible. Live chat, things like that. Are visitors able to contact you? So limit the distractions. So depending on the product or service, you may need to remove the header to obviously guide that person down that funnel and just draw their attention on one thing. What is the one thing we want them to do? Headers often distract people, and that's one of the reasons a lot of funnels and a lot of landing pages remove them. Now, the problem you might find is if it's something that has multiple variants. So say again, digital agency, I'm going to use that as an example. And you draw people to the Facebook ads page of your services, but they're interested in something else and you don't have a menu and they want to search around, then that's not going to be good. So it really depends on your service, guys. But if it's for something very specific, like a locksmith, someone needs a locksmith, just boom, just no header, no footer, no nothing, just have it all there ready to go. The customer leaves their details or calls you, and that's all that's there. Keep it simple. So after this, we need to set up goals and events in Google Analytics and link them to events that happen on your site. So whether a form is submitted, calls are submitted. Now, you're not always going to be able to do this, and if you're just starting off, then if that's the case, just skip this step. But this is the gold standard, and I'm going to quickly show you how to do one. But the idea here is that we want to be able to track these conversion events in Google Ads. For this to work, you need to make sure that your Google Ads account and Google Analytics are linked to the same accounts. Super important, and I'll show you why in a second. So after this, we're going to need to make sure that they're actually working, that these events are working and they're tracking. And eventually, once we run ads, we want to make sure that once we click the ad and that conversion event occurs, it needs to link to that specific ad. If not, then we don't know if our marketing efforts are producing any result. And that's the biggest problem with digital advertising. And that's why sometimes marketing agencies aren't trusted, because if this stuff isn't set up properly, one, you have a hard time explaining it to your client, or two, if you're running it yourself, you don't know if it's producing a result 100%. It might be other external factors impacting it and you're getting calls from elsewhere, but you don't know. So all this stuff needs to be set up properly. Let me jump into Google Analytics and quickly show you. Okay, so once you're in Google Analytics, head on into Admin, Goals, and we want to create a goal. So on this particular account, we're tracking phone calls and a form submission. So these are the two ways that this business in particular gets contacted. So what you want to do is you need to create a new goal here, and you're going to, depending on what it is, most of the time I like to add custom, but if it's something that's linked to a pre-configured template within this, so contact us, all that, just select the relevant one. So this tutorial isn't about showing you this, I'm just quickly running you through what you want to do. So here, click custom, and if you have a web person, get them to set this up. So a lot of you are going to have web people, just get them to set it up. So destination, so if you want people to go to the thank you page, then you're going to just enter in the thank you page. So this would be thank you, or it might be phone call, whatever it is. So if it is a phone call, it's going to be an event, right? Duration, if someone spends a certain amount of time. So there might be all these different things you want to track. You want to track how many pages a person sees. Like if it's a minimum of 3 pages, you class that as a conversion. Just set up your goal. Once you set up your goal, you may need someone to set this up for you guys. It is a little bit technical. You're going to want to head back over to your main menu, and we're going to go to conversions, goals, and then we're going to go to overview, and you're going to see your goals here and what the actual conversion rate is and stuff. So it's a really great way of actually knowing if your website is converting. Now, if you do test it, submit the form, make a call, go into here, go into real time, and after a couple of seconds, you should actually have the event pop up here. So just a good way to check it. Let's head back over to the guide and we'll start on the next step, which is keyword research. So once you know what you want to promote, once you know your website is ready to go, you want to start, and once you know that you have set up events that can be tracked, or if you don't have this, that step can be totally skipped, guys. That's no problem. This step now, keyword research, is one of the most important. Remember, Google, where people are entering keywords, they're searching for things, you're providing them with the solution that they're looking for. Now, I do like to start off the search broad and then kind of look at, okay, where are the high buyer intent or specific keywords that are going to lead, that are more likely to lead to a sale or a lead for me. Going too broad isn't going to be good. Okay, guys. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to use the keyword planner, keywords in everywhere. There's lots of other tools and other paid tools. If you have them, use them. Keyword planner's fine, and keywords everywhere. I'm going to show you how to use them just in a moment. And like I said, let's look for longer tail, cheaper, less competitive keywords, ideally. This is how you can kind of compete with the bigger guys, because they don't get to this granular level of detail and they don't get into that same level of account management. I will say one thing, guys, do not spend too much time on this. Make sure you're using specific words and things that are likely to lead to conversions. But once you do have these, and I'm going to show you what I recommend you start with, after you spend about $50, Google's going to give you all the search terms that people are looking for, and you're not going to have to spend hours and hours. It's not worth it. It could even be in under less than $50, but I'm just saying at $50, you've probably got enough data there to know what people are searching for. Now, here is this little guide that I've set up for you guys to go, okay, what do I need? What keywords am I going to need? Now, I've split it into location, business, or professions. Now, for products, obviously, you can see there, I'm going to focus on the lead gen services for local businesses. The other common ones are top or best service location. And the brackets are obviously whatever service you provide or whatever business or profession you are. So just stick to these keywords, guys, and it's going to give you a really, really, really good starting point to start your first campaign. As I said, don't spend too long. Google's going to give you the right words in the search terms report, which I will show you. Okay, so to do your keyword research, guys, always start with the words that I said and just kind of go from there. Start broad, go more narrow. Head on over to planning and then keyword planner. Go find new keywords. Now, what I like to do here is I either like to get my competitors' URLs and put them in here because I know that whatever they're ranking for in terms of SEO and things like that, it's going to come up here. So if you've got a plumber or a digital marketing agency or a gym or whatever it may be, you're able to get the keywords that they're ranking for. So especially if you know there's a big brand out there, make sure you put that in there and try it, or just start off broad. So okay, so we've typed plumber Gold Coast, and this is going to give us ideas of what other keywords come up. So Gold Coast Plumbing Company, you're also going to get your top of page bid and top of page, your low and high range of your top of page bid. Now, obviously, plumbing has a high customer value, and so the keyword, the cost per click is going to be quite high because obviously other people are bidding on it. Now, the way to get around that is we want to get more specific and then obviously delve into longer tail keywords and limit our bids, so we're only bidding as much as we can afford. I don't want to overcomplicate it for you, but after this, what we can do is we can go 24-hour plumber and see what comes up for a 24-hour plumber. Here we go. 24-hour plumber gets searched very, very frequently. Emergency plumber, 24-hour plumbers near me. All of this stuff is potential keywords that you can use. Now, another way to do this research is to jump into Google and just type in plumber Gold Coast. This plugin is called Keywords Everywhere, and I recommend downloading it because it's going to give you the volume and then the average cost per click and the competition. Once you do that, you've got a little bit of an idea. It's going to give you, okay, so 2,400, decent volume. Okay, what do other people search? Oceanside plumbing gets searched 1,000 times. So obviously that's quite frequent. And that's an actual plumbing business by the looks of it. So it looks like a franchise and they're all over the place. So Gold Coast plumbing companies also searched for quite frequently. Commercial plumbers, plumber Brisbane, electrician. So then you've got things that are obviously similar. And then you can actually, once you're doing this, guys, you can also look at what negative keywords can I find as well. So plumbing jobs, Gold Coast. Now, once you've got a bit of an idea as to what you're going to use, and I recommend just sticking to this, that was just to show you briefly what you can do in the level of detail. I recommend not spending too long on this. As I've said, just use this and adapt it to your business. So one thing to note is that there's different match types and ways that Google treats keywords. Now, if you just put plumbing Gold Coast or plumbers Gold Coast, that's going to bring in everything that's got plumbers Gold Coast. Every single phrase with those words in it is going to come up. If you put quotation marks around it, it's going to need that phrase there. If you put a plus, plumber plus Gold Coast, that's going to bring in those two words together. So you're obviously starting off broad and going down more specific. I'll get more into this when we cover off ad groups. So what I like to do once we do a little bit of keyword research is I like to look at what are the competitors doing. So we just had a look, we typed in plumbers Gold Coast. What are the other people doing? Have a look at, okay, plumbers, same day repairs, 24/7, reliable Gold Coast plumber. Plumber, no call out fee, plus $50 off today. So they're giving you an offer. So have a look at what buzzwords they're using, have a look at how they structure their ads and kind of try and do something similar. Again, don't spend too long on this, guys. You're just wanting to write the main point of the main factor that contributes to whether or not someone clicks is obviously the title, because that's the thing that's obviously bold and blue and the thing people first see. While we're doing this, we're looking at, okay, what are the competitors doing? We're looking for inspiration. How can we improve the ad, tailor it to our business and make it better? So what are their unique selling positions or promises? So you saw that reliability, 24/7, emergency, they were all the things that were coming up for plumbers. Use the buzzwords they use, no call out fee. So from here, you want to go and set up your campaign in Google Ads. We've done all the pre-work. Let's get into Google Ads and set up our campaign for the first time. Okay, so once we get into Google, we're going to click campaigns and we're going to click the little plus sign and click New Campaign. Now, if this is your first ever campaign, you're going to want to click Website Traffic. Now, the reason for this is you don't have any data for Google to actually optimize for anything else. So I recommend that you click Website Traffic and let Google get the most amount of clicks. Then once you start getting some conversions, because you still will get conversions with website traffic, you can then optimize for something else. So let's click Website Traffic, click Search, and I'm just going to put a website here. Okay, so call your campaign whatever it might be. So let's just call this Plumbing Test Campaign. And we're going to click Search Network only, no Google Display Network. Okay. So here we're going to go show more settings. I always recommend that you set an end date, because if you forget about this, then Google's going to keep showing the ads. So I like to set the start date to the next day, so you can make any changes prior to that. And the end date, whatever you're comfortable with. Let's just go roughly a month. Locations, just select your location. Languages, whatever your language is. Audiences, just skip over that. Budget, let's just start with $10 a day. And leave the delivery method to standard. Now, we're going to not focus on conversions. We want to focus on clicks, and we want to set a maximum CPC bid. Now, depending on what you are doing, anywhere between $1 and $3 is probably a good amount to start with for a local business. So anywhere between that, so maybe go $1.50. So maybe just start off with $1 and go from there. So the bid strategy we're using is maximize clicks currently. So under here, so show more settings, I want you to go do not optimize rotate ads indefinitely, because what we're going to do is we're going to create 3 different ads, and I want you to select the right one. Don't let Google just keep spinning and optimizing for whatever it thinks it's the best, because often what happens is it selects one and just sticks to it. Okay, guys? Now you can put in extensions down the track. It's all those little bits that you see underneath an ad, so like call and all those things. We're not going to cover that off now. Let's just click Save and Continue. And so ad group 1 might be plumber location. So, and what we're going to do here is, this is what I meant by modifier. So you can see here, if you don't put anything around it, it's going to be broad match. If you put quotation marks around it, it's going to be phrase match. So anything with the phrase, and then keyword exact match is going to be whatever you put in those brackets. That's the only thing that can come up, that specific search. So that's obviously the best, but it tends to be the most expensive as well. So what we're going to do is, we're not going to do broad, we're going to do broad match modifier. So we're going to do plumber plus Gold Coast. Okay? So after that, we're going to do the phrase match. Plumber, Gold Coast. And we're going to do the exact match. So we're going to go plumber, Gold Coast. So that, you can just leave it at that. That's obviously a very, very small set of keywords, and you can branch out, but it is quite broad, because plumber Gold Coast is going to come up with a whole range of other things. Now, we can go do a new ad group where we might go, we saw emergency plumbing. So emergency plumbing. So remember when I said there's different parts of the business? Emergency plumbing is a different portion. So we might go plus 24/7 plus plumber. We might go plus emergency plus plumber. And you could even go plus Gold Coast to be super specific, right? And then we can do the same thing as we did before. We can do the phrase match, so 24/7 plumber. And do the exact match, which is only the exact phrase, 24/7 plumber. Now, I think you kind of get the gist from that. So click Save and Continue. And your campaign's ready. So continue campaign, and your campaign is up and running. Okay, so if you want this little spreadsheet that I've got, guys, I'm going to leave a link below to it in the description of the YouTube video. So make sure you hit me up, click the link, and I'll send it through to you. So all of what I just said is in this document. You know, all the setup instructions. Ad groups here, I recommend 3. I recommend broad batch, modify, phrase match, and exact match. I'll do a video explaining these in greater detail in the future. And again, set up the ads based on your business and competitor analysis. Tailor them to you, improve on what others have done. Don't reinvent the wheel. Now, once the ads are up and running, I want you to regularly check them. Now, the initial stage is going to take a couple of days to get going. So maybe after 3 or 4 days, check in and see how the ads are going. Now, here's what I said, where you don't want to get into too much level of detail in the keyword analysis. So I don't want you to go into too much. So as I said, don't go into too much detail into the keyword research. Google's going to tell us after those 4 or 5 days, what keywords are being searched, and then you can go through adding negative keywords you might have. Now, if you already know some negative keywords, put them in from the get-go. From here, add in any relevant keywords that are popping up, so you'll see what people are searching for and triggering ads, and then just add them to your campaign. Over time, you're also going to be checking, okay, which of the keywords that I added, was it the broad match, the phrase match, the exact match, that are actually doing well for me, and just focus on the ones that are doing well, remove the other ones, guys. Next, you can actually sit there and adjust your bid, so you can adjust based on which keywords are coming up, which devices, location, time, a lot of detail. I'll cover it off soon in another video. And guys, the last step that I really want you to make sure you're doing is, once you've got enough data, start retargeting or remarketing on Google. And I've shown you how to do this in a previous video. And then also, I've also shown you how to retarget on Facebook. Now, if people are coming to your website, not purchasing, but then seeing you out on Facebook, you're increasing the likelihood that they are going to buy or come to your business or give you a call, okay? So thanks so much, guys. Thanks for watching my video. Just to recap, I've shown you how to do your first Google search ad for a local business, whether you're an agency or a business owner. I've shown you how to obviously go through, make sure your website is optimized for conversions, and the key elements that are required to make sure that your website, when someone clicks your ad, they're going to convert. Now, I've shown you also about goals in Google Analytics, and the reason I set this up is more of future proofing, guys. You don't need to use it in your first campaign, but we will be using it in the future, so set it up. Next, I've shown you how to do basic keyword research, and I've shown you here this little table as to what I would stick to if you're a beginner at this or a time poor. Just stick to this. Google's going to give you the right words in a couple of days. I've shown you how to do a basic competitor analysis, how to make the ad better and improve on it. Very basic. A whole video will be coming on this. Now, I've also shown you how to set up your first campaign with all the details you need there. You just need $10 a day to begin with, and that's what I recommend. I've then shown you how to set up the ad groups, the ads, and then what to do once your ads are up and running. Again, a video will come on this in the future. Retargeting, very important step, something I'm not seeing a lot of people showing you, and it's going to improve the likelihood of you making a sale or getting a lead. Thanks so much, guys. Give the video a like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you click the link below to get this guide. Thanks so much, guys, and see you soon.